Oh, for shame, how these mortals do put the blame upon us gods, when it is their own foolishness that wins sorrow beyond which was given. That's a line from the beginning of the Odyssey. And sometimes folks, we blame fate and the gods or God for what happens to us when it's our own foolish decisions. And if you remember from last night, I said that I had foie gras for dinner. Well, I had foie gras for dinner twice in a row, and I get gout. So I'm just about over my cold, but now I've got gout, and both the cold and the gout were because of my own foolishness. So I'm not blaming the gods, I'm not blaming fate, I'm not blaming destiny, I'm blaming my own gosh darn foolishness. But you know what? As you can tell behind me, it's a beautiful morning. There's some clouds. I may run into some rain, but I'm not quite ready to put on the rain gear yet. I'll wait a little bit for that to see what it's like once the sun comes up, because the sun isn't quite up yet. But it is 7 o'clock and it's time to start our day. I think we got about a 16-mile day, and we'll see how it goes. Like I said, I'm just about over the cold, so on to a new day, folks, right? You ready? Let's go. Hi, folks. I wish I could be doing this from someplace more photogenic than my hotel room, but the gout's really kicked in after walking on it all day. I made the mistake of having a couple of beers tonight, and that's wrong. I mean, I didn't realize how badly it affects your gout. So I'm going to hang out here in the room today or this evening. But just wanted to make a wrap up video for the day. It was a really nice day. My cold is almost gone. Forgive me for bouncing the phone around like that. My cold is almost gone, which is great. And hopefully tomorrow we can minimize this gout issue and maybe get rid of it even by tomorrow night at this time. But the road from Camillus to where the heck am I? It's I could never pronounce these names. The road from Camillus to Unquera is beautiful. It's a great walk. As you can tell from some of the pictures, it's just beautiful. I really enjoyed the walk today, despite the gout. But I really enjoyed the walk today. Here's a tip though. Whenever you're walking the Camino, especially Del Norte, make sure on Sundays you have food. Not and make sure that you have something for the morning, and make sure that you have something in case you get stuck someplace where they don't have food at night, because that's what happened to me a couple of times. Fortunately, I did grab a sandwich, and I was able to have something to eat for dinner tonight. Maybe I will get up and go get some food. Maybe not. I'm not that terribly hungry. But having said that, a couple of tips for this stage of the Camino del Norte. Now you're gonna, after you pass Saint Vincent is it, or Vincente? Saint Vincente, which I guess really means San Vicente, which I guess really means Saint Vincent. After you pass through that town, and it's quite a little hill at the end of that town, you're gonna, and by the way, when you go through Saint Vicente, you don't really go through it, you go along the edge of it. So don't count on getting food there unless you go off the Camino a bit, get food, and then get back on. I met several people that did that. I really wanted to get to my destination today, so I skipped that and I just pressed on, although hadn't had any breakfast. But what you want to do is, once you get out of San Vicente, what you're going to see is that you're going to pass through this town, this just, just barely a town, called Esbosa, and it's the first town you pass after San Vicente. And as you leave the town, there's going to be a fork in the road, and the guidebook says go to the right, and you can go to the right, but that's along the freeway. I went to the left, and boy, it was just beautiful. A little bit of a hill again, but when you got to the top, it was just beautiful, and you're walking all along country lanes and things like that. So I would definitely do that. The other thing is, as you're going into Serbio, as you approach the town, I'm looking at the different maps and things like that. But as you approach the town, there's two ways of going. And you can go through Serbio, and you can go one route, which is a little bit longer, and you go through Horticalis, I think that's the name of it, and it's, a few kilometers. Or there's a much shorter route, and you can see it in the Wise Pilgrim app, and you can see it in all the different maps. That's just like 1 kilometer, and boom, you're there. And the cool thing about when you get there, there's a nice little place where you can grab some food. And boy, I was hungry. It was noon when I got there, and I was ordering this and that, and the guy kept on looking at me like I was crazy, but I had a really good lunch today. And that's where I bought the sandwich, and I brought it here to my room, and I had that. So, and then I got into this town, which was kind of nice. And coming into this town, there was a sign. Couldn't understand what the gosh darn thing was saying. But I guess basically it meant that the path was torn up, and they really wanted you to walk along the freeway. But me being me, I didn't do that, and it was very, very muddy and torn up and things like that. I would imagine that it won't be like that